President Trump promised Americans a giant tax cut for Christmas. He expressed confidence again today. It's happening. Republicans plan to unveil a final merged House and Senate bill tomorrow with the aim of voting sometime early next week. Will it pass? Republican Senator Marco Rubio says he's a no unless the child tax credit for the working poor is expanded. The president believes the senator will come around.
I think he'll be there. He's really been a great guy and very supportive. I think that Senator Rubio will be there, for sure. And we're doing very well on the tax front. We have tremendous support. We have tremendous spirit. It'll be the largest tax cut in the history of our country. And I will say the Republican senators and congressmen and women have been incredible. So I think we will get there. It'll be in a very short period of time. It will be the greatest Christmas present that a lot of people have ever received. It'll be something special.
Something special. Well, the Senate's Democratic leader is calling for the tax vote to be delayed until Alabama's new senator-elect, Doug Jones, is seated.
It would be wrong for Senate Republicans to jam through this tax bill without giving the newly elected senator from Alabama the opportunity to cast his vote.
All right, Dana, so this is to be expected by Schumer because, of course, they don't want this to go through. So anything that they can do to be obstructionist, to prevent this from being implemented, is to be expected.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen. And also, I read today that they said it's like some false deadline. But the Republicans have always said they wanted to get this to the president's desk before Christmas, at the end of the year. And so they've been right on track. And this is before the Washington Post story came out about Roy Moore. The deadline that the Republicans set was after Obamacare repeal and replace failed. So that's not going to happen. They're not going to wait. I think the Democrats just they're trying to find something to say. But I thought today was really interesting to watch the president. He's just so close to getting this done. I think it's to be expected that you would have a couple of members who really want something to press their advantage right now, because there is this deadline. They do want a little bit more on the child tax credit. We can debate the merits of that. Ivanka Trump wants that as well. So they know that they have a chance to possibly get that. I don't think that at the end of this that they will actually not vote for it. There could be a little bit of room to play with on the corporate rate because the president wanted 15, agreed to 20. Now it's at 21. Marco Rubio's point is, well, going to 22%, is it that big a deal? The corporations are still going to be happy and we could actually do more to help the working poor. I don't know if that will be persuasive, but it could be with the president.
All right, so a little bit of the last-minute negotiations and deal-making, Jesse.
Yeah, he's using his leverage, and he's probably going to be effective because the deadline's fast approaching. I think this deal is much better than what we saw before. I don't love the tax cut. It's not big or bold enough, but it's gotten better in conference. They're dropping the top rate from 39 right now to 37, which is going to have a stimulative effect. That's good. And 20% is better than 25% for the corporate rate reduction, which is also positive. And the Obamacare mandate, Juan, that will get repealed. And that is a huge accomplishment for the Republican Congress. No one thought that was even going to happen. And then we had talked about this. People that live in high-tax states like New York and California are going to be able to deduct your state and local taxes up to $10,000. Not all of it, but up to $10,000. So that's a good thing. So I think this train's moving towards the station, and it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be the best Christmas present everyone's going to get because it's not as generous towards, I think, lower class and middle class Americans. It's only about $38 a week, but it's better than nothing, and it's very stimulative.
You got to laugh when you say that.
Why, Juan?
This is so absurd. This is such a giveaway to the rich. You might as well be
the rich pay more taxes, so they're going to get more money back. Their own money back, Juan.
Ebenezer Scrooge, America.
I think
this is what they're celebrating. They're celebrating a giveaway to not only the rich, but to the corporations.
It's not a giveaway if you keep more of your own money.
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
What happened?
It's not the government's to give away.
What happened to Donald Trump, man of the people? I'm going to take care of the forgotten man, the middle class. I'm going to create jobs.
Well, that's what he's trying to do.
Even the corporations say this is not going to create jobs. This is, and let me just say,
Juan's not happy unless it's a redistribution.
This is so absurd and crude and rude and unfair in the Christmas season. But let me just say to something to what Dana was talking about. This thing is far shakier than anybody wants to pretend. All the Republicans want to do is say, this is on a train. We're leaving the station. It's about to happen.
Well,
it's not only that you have Bob Corker, rightly as a true conservative, worried about blowing up the deficit, but you have Marco Rubio now saying, hey, what about working people? What about the working poor? What about Mike Lee? He's on the edge, too. What about McCain and Cochran? Both of them sick, may not be able to vote. And then, of course, Doug Jones. If Doug Jones gets in there, and he's the rightly elected senator from Alabama, and it's only because Mitch McConnell wants to play parliamentary games that his seating is being delayed, then all of a sudden the math shifts radically and against this horrible bill.
Well, we'll see. Dana, rebuttal.
No, the only thing I would add is that there's another thing that's happening here. The House always talks about that they pass all these bills and it gets stalled in the Senate. Actually, what happens, the Senate just has a different procedure. The other thing, in addition to the individual mandate getting repealed that Republicans have wanted for a really long time, and it's not been possible, is drilling in Anwar. And that's actually would be a part of this bill.
Gee, the reindeer are just celebrating.
Okay, Greg, how do you see it so far? I mean, you like it a little bit better now? It's a little bit more robust?
I just want that the reindeer are celebrating. I thought it was about the people. Now you're worried about the reindeer.
She's talking about drilling in Anwar.
That's good.
Oh,
that helps people.
That helps the reindeer.
The more energy independent we are, the better we are. We're more self-reliant. And this is
better for the economy.
It's better for everybody.
Yeah, just take a look at national parks, too.
I feel bad about the reindeer. Look. All Juan's doing is he's doing what the Democrats do. They always block agendas by using the same tools, which is fear, hyperbole, bad hair. Everything's the end of the world. It's the apocalypse beats Mad Max, with Apocalypse Now floater. Everything is awful. That's why nobody believes you. I don't mean you, Juan, but the left, because everything is the end of the world. Net neutrality. Repealed today. I swear to God, I thought the end. If you saw the headlines on CNN, the end of the internet as you know it, everything is. And again, you can't. No Democrat can accuse anybody of jamming anything.
Right.
They spent 8 years of jamming stuff down our throats. So this whole process has been very slow, I think, and be under Trump, which is quite possibly the most transparent presidency I've lived in. You see everything.
Yeah,
it's not pretty.
See-through.
It's not pretty, but you're learning. You learn about the media, how the media lies. You learn about all the infighting. You learn about the flaws of the presidency. You learn about everything under this. You're absolutely right.
Modern day presidency, Jesse.
But Greg, hold on a second. You don't think this thing has been pushed through and jammed down?
No.
We don't.
It's been going around and it's actually being tinkered with.
There's been a lot of deliberation.
And people actually read this,
yeah.
unlike Obamacare.
Oh, no. In fact,
you would have passed Obamacare.
I think hypocrisy is absolutely rank on this, given that you complain, what about Nancy Pelosi saying you have to pass it to know what's in it? That's exactly what's going on.
No, now we do know what's in it.
I just laid out what's in it.
Let me just tell you, they are tinkering with it.
It's far less mysterious than Obamacare
What's the promise?
was.
What's the promise to Rubio, Kimberly? The
Unbelievable.
promise to Rubio is, don't worry about it, says President Trump. We'll make some kind of deal.
Well,
this is going to happen. It's only because they don't have any legislative accomplishment, and they're dying to have this.
You know what's amazing about that, though?
It's like
we have so many people consumed by Russian collusion and palace infighting. You say nothing's happened. Deregulation, pipelines, Anwar, the Paris Accords, tightening relationships with China, India, and Russia, repealing the mandate. A lot has been happening. So keep chasing Russia. Keep complaining. We'll get stuff done.
How about all the unrest in the Middle East thanks to old Trump?
Oh, yes.
Please.
Thanks to Trump.
Unrest in the Middle East.
Old Trump.
Did that just happen?
Just
oh
like
my God!
Just
Because it was fine during Obama.
More fake news. All right, Dan, I want to come to you and talk to you about Paul Ryan, because there were some reports today that House Speaker Paul Ryan is actually considering leaving Congress after the midterm elections. Here was the White House response to those rumors.
The president did speak to the speaker not too long ago and made sure that the speaker knew very clearly and in no uncertain terms that if that news was true, he was very unhappy with it. The speaker assured the president that those were not accurate reports and that they look forward to working together for a long time to come.
Okay, Dana, so White House Communications coming out with a swift response
in support of Ryan and saying the president would be unhappy. I mean, this is different, because if this news had come out maybe 4 months ago, the president might have said, good.
Yes.
Okay, but I think that we've seen a couple of things happen that are different. There's been personnel changes in the White House. You see the president actually thinking, oh, wait a second, they are trying to actually pass my agenda, with passing a lot of bills in the House and then getting some of the stuff done in the Senate where they can, but also being supportive, especially on judges in particular.
Sure.
And then you have Paul Ryan's office saying, no, this is not happening. It's not happening. Now, I will just say that that's what Speaker Boehner's office said right up until the day that he made it kind of a sudden decision.
Sure.
If you read that Political piece, it says overnight he woke up and he was like, you know what, I think I'm good here. And he resigns all of a sudden. So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. But I think it is interesting and good if you're a Republican to say, OK, now they all look like they're on the same team with President Trump as the head coach and pulling people together. If they do get this bill passed, the tax reform bill, with the other pieces that are in it, I think that success will feel good to them, and they'll be able to figure out what they can do in a second year, which is not a lot legislatively. Those are usually the most difficult years.
But I think they're up against some really challenging days ahead in the short term in terms of budget issues, spending.
Always are.
And I don't think it's going to be happy times for Paul Ryan. He wants to do a big cut in terms of entitlement spending, so Social Security, Medicare, and the like. This is going to be hugely controversial, even among Republicans.
Will it be the end of the world, Juan?
Oh, yeah, no.
Guess what?
It's crude, it's rude, and it's a giveaway to the rich.
Children will starve.
High
Children
five.
will starve. Puppies will be crushed under a steamroller of hate.
You love to say these things because you want the rich to just do what they want. You say,
yes,
don't
I
pay
love rich
attention
people.
to the rich.
I hate the poor.
Yes,
so worried
you do.
about
Traffic
You're
and
so worried about deficits, and we were talking about tax cuts. Now we're talking entitlement reform. Don't touch that.
What are you talking
Where's
about?
the spending cuts coming from?
So take it away from Grandma. Push her over the cliff, says
man,
Jesse.
you're a commercial,
Oh,
Ron
look at
Williams.
this.
He's actually helping to make our case.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Because
exactly
these are,
right.
Pushing
Hyperbole,
grandma off the cliff.
Scare tactics, that's all they have.
Oh, yeah. If you had a real
got
bill,
lint in it,
if
nothing
you
else.
had a real bill, Kimberly, if it really was tax reform, I'd say America would say great.
I do think that the president campaigned on a 33% top rate. So he wanted to go from 39% to 33%.
Right.
The president and all the Republicans ran on that. That's not what this bill is ending up at. It was at 39%. He was okay with that.
Yeah, you should be
it's getting down
thrilled.
to 37. I mean, actually, Juan, I think you guys could have
Compromise.
No,
You don't want anything to go down.
No, well, first of all, if it was the case that our economy was struggling with the current tax reform...
I know this argument.
Oh, but the economy is doing
So
well.
it's good. You don't want it to be great. You don't want to make America great again.
America is great, in my opinion. Apparently not yours. But I'm going to tell you
economy
something.
for a lot of people.
No, he wants a NOAA.
The
Make
economy's
America
not great.
weak
What's the
again.
unemployment
That's
rate?
Vaughn's
How's the
vision.
stock market, Jesse?
Is that Obama's fault? You can take credit for that, too?
You bet this is Obama's economy.
There
yes.
is so much revenue in the federal government. It is all-time high. We can afford to give some money back to the people who earned it themselves.
Yeah.
Ebenezer Scrooge speaks to America.
You're greedy if you want to keep part of your paycheck.
Oh, get out of
Or
town.
your payday.
You check the box, pay more taxes voluntarily, Juan. There's a little box there.
It says
Have you ever
Jesse's
checked it?
taxes.
Have you ever checked it?
Oh, get
I doubt
out
it.
of town.
You just saw Juan got crushed.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
ahead.